All right, how big of a deal is this profit miss? The company blaming some issues in Brazil, but overall, we're talking about a company that during the quarter had its most watched film of all time with K-pop Demon Hunters, its most watched boxing event of all time. How concerning is it, this profit miss?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a big source of concern for the story. Stock's pretty much been dead money. Now I think even with today's move, it's flat since early May. And I think the print last night and the call as well. Like, no one disagrees the longer term value and the high quality asset nature that Netflix is, and it always will be. But in the near term, there is questions of kind of what the growth levers are heading into 26. Yeah, there was a one-off related to Brazil, but even kind of looking out further, there's some deterioration on the margins. And again, I think the bears right now are sort of in control, and they see this as a decelerating revenue story. There's waning engagement and password sharing benefits as well. And why buy this over some of the AI winner stories that are kind of firing on all cylinders?
All right. You also say there seems to be some signs that they may be looking at Warner Brothers Discovery but won't pull the trigger. Could that be something to create another leg of growth for Netflix?
Potentially, and I think people were sort of mixed on the M&A. I don't think anyone wants to see Netflix do a massive deal because again, it'll kind of spark concerns about what their organic growth is looking like. And obviously, they were pretty negative in terms of owning any sort of legacy assets. But who knows what they could get with Warner Brothers? We know it's an excellent portfolio. But again, this is probably a near-term overhang on the story as well. Is there going to be a big M&A? And right now, it doesn't feel like companies are going to get paid for kind of making big splashy deals.
All right, I want to turn to Tesla reporting its earnings coming up. How are you viewing this quarter? How important are earnings to this company when it seems like it trades on enthusiasm over autonomous driving and robots?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, right now, there's two kind of contrasting stories heading into the Tesla print tonight. Stock's up 100% off its April lows, up 33% since Elon left the White House back on May 28th. You have your AV, robotics, AI part of the story. And then traditionally, the contrasting story is what's going on in the vehicle sales, which we know are declining, facing increasing China competition. But again, the bulls are 100% focused on what the path looks like moving forward for autonomous robotaxis, cybercab ramps. People want more clarity on that. And then kind of after this print, we'll turn to kind of November 6th and see how this the must-pay package kind of drama shakes out as well.
All right. Before that, though, we get the president meeting with the Chinese president to talk about a lot of trade issues. We also have the potential for tariffs on Chinese imports to increase by 100%. How big of a deal is this for Tesla, not only for their potential impact to the U.S. business, but also their dealings in China? Could some of this trade tension, could this impact the company?
I think you're looking at the stock price. It's been somewhat discounted to some degree. They obviously have a massive footprint in China as well, which kind of probably gives them a little bit of a pass from Xi and the government locally. So I don't think people are too concerned about it right now. Clearly, my view on U.S.-China tensions is that de-escalation is the path of least resistance. Both leaders realize that an all-out trade war at a prolonged length of time, no one's going to be a winner of that. So I think we're heading in the right direction on that front. Trump has his objectives for the U.S. economy, for domestic chip dominance, for power energy. Having this as a sideshow for the next 3 years, I think is kind of just a waste of time.